But you know, he's a great competitor. He wants to win. So anything could have happened.
Ghislain Briand gave an interview in which, at one point, he talks about Yuzuru Hanyu's quadruple axel. The interview was conducted at Stéphane Lambiel's skating school, where he now works as a jump specialist. The journalist asked him about Yuzuru's real potential, what his real chances were of landing his quadruple axel in Beijing in 2002. Ghislain's answer removes all doubt on this much debated question, but other questions remain. Is Yuzuru still training for his quadruple axel? When and where will it happen? Stay tuned. In this video you'll find the answers and more to these questions. And don't forget to subscribe, comment and like. It won't cost you much and it'll help this video appear prominently so that anyone can enjoy it. All Yuzuru fans know that the quadruple axel is a childhood dream of baby Yuzuru, as he's known, referring to his early days. He started working on it long before the 2008 Olympics in Pyeongchang. But it was from 2009 onwards that he really devoted himself to it, not hesitating to show in public spectacular and frightening training sessions. Given the dangerous nature of the jump and the fragility of Yuzuru's right ankle, repeatedly injured during the pandemic, his training with Ghislain and the cricket club in general is interrupted. Yuzuru returns to Japan and receives help and advice from Ghislain online, which of course is not the same as face-to-face training. This period will be experienced by Yuzuru as a time of great moral solitude, during which there will be times when he'll want to stop everything.
自分がやってることがすごく無駄に思える時期がすごくあって、なんか一人だけただただなんか暗闇の底に落ちていくような感覚があった時期があって、なんかもう一人で嫌だって思ったんですよ。一人でやるのもう嫌だって思って、疲れたなって思って、もうやめようって思ったんですけど。
However, Yuzuru will bounce back, and after a very difficult 2020 and 21 season with little competition, October 2001 he announced his participation in the 2021-2022 season and plans to include the quadruple axel in his 10 to Chi2 program.
ジャンプの出来栄え点非常に高い評価。3つ目、トリプルアクセル、ダブルトーループ。
Unfortunately, a week before the NHK Trophy, he suffered another injury in training.
Unfortunately, I think what kind of slowed down the whole process was his injury of his ankle.
He had to wait until the Japanese National Championships at the end of December 2001 to present his quadruple axel for the first time in competition. It wasn't perfect, but it was the first quadruple axel to land on ice without falling. Let's take a closer look at this quadruple axel from different angles and measurements as seen in replays of competitions in Japan. The height, length and speed of the jump are perfectly measured, as are the various angles and decelerations. Allow us to see that all 4 turns are completed, while the last half turn is a little short, so that he lands on both feet, because he doesn't have time to close the half loop. So it's an under-rotated quadruple axel landed on both feet. The Japanese judges downgraded it to a triple axel, but many believe that this downgrade was unjustified. In any case, it can be seen from the slow-motion footage that Yuzuru was just short of completing his quadruple axel. All hopes were therefore high for the Beijing Olympic Games in February of 2022.
I can say that maybe a few weeks, a month and a half before Beijing, we were getting really close.
But Yuzuru's luck was bad, and one day before the free program, he re-injured his right ankle during the training sessions.
初めて明かしたのはフリー前日に負った深刻な足の捻挫。痛み止めを飲んで本番に臨んでいました。
正直言って歩くのも痛いと思います。走るのなんて痛み止め飲んでても痛って思いながらやってましたし、今日。
After receiving an injection directly into his ankle, he appears on the ice, lips pale and face livid. I remember that at that moment, unaware of the conditions I've just described, I immediately sensed that something was wrong. So he attempted the quadruplexal, the first jump on the program, but as expected, his ankle couldn't take the landing and he fell. Yuzuru was aware that his chances of success were very slim indeed, and brave as ever, he didn't want to hold back. This initial impact on his ailing ankle will make the rest of the program even harder to execute, but he'll stand firm. A few images show us the consequences of putting his injured ankle through such a severe ordeal. Look at how swollen it is. I wonder how he was able to bear the pressure of the skate once it was closed and skate.
手に今氷をお持ちです。先ほど足首少し見えました。どういう状況で滑ったんですか？あんまり痛くないなって思ってるんですけど、でもちょっと昨日アクセルの練習で。
久しぶりに回転をかけ切って練習してたんで、ちょっと捻挫してるんですけど、でもやれることはやったかなって思います。
The consequences for Yuzuru's morale are no less severe as these extracts show it.
お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございました。北京オリンピックまでの道のり、いろいろな思いがあっての、はい。
ひたすら夢を追い続けて。体を壊して。
This time, however, his quadruplexal will be recognized as a quadruplexal, albeit an under-rotated quadruplexal, but it will be certified by the judges, which is the first time a quadruplexal has appeared as such in an ISU score sheet.
今放送で入った情報では4回転アクセル公認されました。
あ、そうなんですか？
いかがですか？世界で初めて。
そっか。そっか。なんかアンダーローテーションかなんかでしたよね、確か。
So, what is Ghislain Briand's definitive opinion on Yuzuru's capacity to perform the quadruplexal correctly?
I think if Olympics would be 6 months later, he would have done it.
What better judgment than that of the great jumping specialist who is Ghislain, who personally worked with Yuzuru on his quadruplexal, isn't it? But does the story end there? Well, no, Yuzuru, despite having decided to retire, would still be training for his quadruplexal. After Beijing, the only recording of a quadruplexal trial dates back to August 2022 from the share practice video on Yuzuru's channel. On the other hand, in the television program of April 14th, 2023 on the Japanese channel Telemasa, he confirms that he is working on his quadruple axel and that landing a correct quadruple axel could happen during a show or during one of his training sessions.
4回転半ジャンプの練習というのは今どうなってますか？できてますかという質問です。
やれて2週間に1回とか そんな感じですかね。やっぱり怪我のリスクがものすごく大きくて、実際にその北京オリンピックの場所でも4回転半の練習をしている時に捻挫をしてしまって、すごく苦しかった気持ちもあって、ただずっとそのプロになってから感じているように、その自分が滑れなくなってしまうことが一番そのファンの方々にとって一番辛いことだと思うので、なるべく足を怪我しないように、ただその中で限界に挑戦し続けられるようにというバランスをいろいろ取りながら頑張ってます。
もし我々がいつか見られるとしたら、そのショーの中でということになりますかね。
それか、あとはなんか YouTube で配信したりとか、そういった機会もまたね考えたいなとか思ってますね。
YouTube もいい、ちょっと安心したんですけれども、練習中に飛べたって誰もカメラを撮ってないっていうのが一番怖いなと思っていたらそうです、今出てきました、 YouTube の配信もされてるんです。
No, Yuzuru hasn't given up on his childhood dream. Will his physical condition allow him to realize his hopes? What do you think? Leave your opinions in the comments at the end of this video. It will be very interesting. Only time will tell if Yuzuru will succeed, but the most important thing is not the result, but the path taken. A path which, in Yuzuru's case, has opened the door to the conquest of the most difficult jump to date for the younger generation, and that's grand. Yuzuru is a pioneer, and like most pioneers, he did the hardest and most thankless. And others after him have or are now building on his work to push back the boundaries of what is humanly possible. Yuzuru's quadruple AXEL is the great gift of the most exceptional skater in the history of figure skating in terms of conquering for generations to come. Parenthesis aside, it's worth pointing out that Yuzuru's conquests are not limited to the quadruple AXEL, as we know. His generosity is matched only by his nobility and greatness of spirit, which has won him an ever-growing number of admirers around the world, because Yuzuru continued to explore new and open paths open to the future.